Hello and welcome. My name is Maze and this is Maze Core. Thank you guys for being here. So I decided to do a short video. I'm trying to do videos on Thursdays consistently, and then today is Saturday, so this is kind of my if I feel like it video. But thank you guys for being here. If you guys are not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell icon for notifications and give this video a big thumbs up. Let's get started. So I've only been a Christian for about a year and a half, and maybe even less than that. It hasn't been a super long time, is my point. I was agnostic from probably around the time of 6th grade up until a year and a half ago. So that's like a decade. Anyways, I started dating this guy who I'm still dating. Love of my life. But he said something to me that really stuck out. You know, he's a man of God, and at the time I was willing to listen, but I didn't necessarily believe, and I didn't necessarily think I ever would. And he wasn't pushy about it. He was just like, if I asked, he would tell me. And he kind of told me at one point, I forget why it came up in the conversation, but at the beginning of my journey, he started telling me about sin and why, as Christians, God doesn't want us to sin. And I always kind of saw it as like, oh yeah, God, tells us to not sin because that's what he says. Or some people will even say, oh, it's either because of, God just wants it to be that way, or because God's looking in our own self-interest. I think there's a lot to that. I think that's true in a lot of cases. But at the same time, there's more to it than that. God has a really big heart. So there's more of a heart in it than that. So when we look at Christianity as a whole, the whole purpose of Christianity is to pursue a relationship with Christ. Every other aspect of Christianity is a product of that relationship, or a product of pursuing that relationship. That includes baptism, prayer, fasting, all of it. That's why works don't get us into heaven. Our faith does. Our relationship does. Pursuing that relationship, having faith and giving that to God, repentance, that's what gets us into heaven. So everything is a product of that relationship. Even repentance is a product of that relationship. Even not wanting to sin. And here's why. Whenever we sin, we are doing something outside of God. And when we do something outside of God, we're not with him, and that hurts our relationship with him. God doesn't want us to sin, not just because, if we lie, we could get in trouble, but because it's deeper than that, because he wants us to be with him. God is defined as good. So good, what is good, is essentially what is of God. Anything that is not of God is bad, in my personal opinion. So when we look at sin, it's not of God, and that's why it's bad. And that's why God doesn't want us to do it, because we're not with him. That's kind of the heart in sin, at least what I've come across. And it was one of those things where it didn't necessarily prove to me that this is the true religion. There's a lot of different things that led me to that belief, but this is one of the things that made me realize that I was basing my opinion off of Christianity based off of lies. We have to realize that at the end of the day, there is only one truth. Now, whatever I believe the truth to be is a whole different, whether that's correct or not, that's a whole different discussion. But there still is only going to be one truth at the end of the day. So we have to be pursuing that truth objectively, and not based off of our own biases. That's something I learned to do. And I think it's important for us to actually know who God is based off of who he is rather than what people say he is. That's why reading the Bible is important as Christians. There are an infinite number of lies. And there's only one truth. Which is why we have to get in the Word. Why that's so important. Because if we just go to church every single Sunday, then we're hearing man speak, not God. And sometimes God uses man and pastors as vessels, and that's amazing. But I also do believe the number one place where, or one of the most prominent places where lies about Christ are perpetuated is within the church. That's a problem. And that's a problem we have to be aware of. We have to be okay with challenging our own beliefs and be okay with finding the truth, seeking the truth. The truth isn't easy to seek after because our own biases get in the way of that constantly. We have to fight that urge to want to believe what we believe rather than what is the truth. I hope this video makes sense. I kind of just said it on a whim again. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you guys like these talks, also make sure you follow me on Spoon because we have these conversations live on my streams all the time. So my name is Just Maze on Spoon. So make sure you check me out there as well. But I will see you guys all later. I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend, and I will see you guys around. Bye.